Welcome to Vital Life Stories. Today we explore the touching journey of a man who gave everything until he had absolutely nothing left. Arif was known throughout the entire valley as a man whose heart was vast, always putting the needs of others before his own. From fixing broken roofs to finding lost cattle in the woods, Arif never said no to anyone who asked for his assistance. He would gladly share his last meal with a hungry child, ignoring the rumbling in his own stomach to ensure others were fed. However, while he built up the village, his own sanctuary was crumbling down, neglected and forgotten amidst his endless acts of service. His hands were rough and scarred from labor, and his energy was fading. Yet he refused to stop or rest for himself. Whenever a voice called his name from the road, Arif would rise immediately, push aside his fatigue to be of service again. The villagers grew used to his constant presence, assuming Arif was an inexhaustible machine who did not need rest or care. One fateful night, a terrible storm struck the village. Arif spent hours in the freezing rain, saving a neighbor's frightened livestock. He pushed his body beyond its limits that night, draining every ounce of strength he had left to protect what belonged to others. Upon reaching his cold, dark home, he collapsed onto his bed, unable to even change his wet clothes as a fever took hold. The sun rose the next morning, but Arif could not. He lay paralyzed by weakness, waiting for someone to come and check on him. He watched the shadows of people passing by his window. He heard their laughter, yet not a single soul stepped inside to help. Hours turned into a long, silent night. The man who had been there for everyone was now completely alone in his darkest hour. By the second day, thirst became unbearable. He reached for water, but his trembling hand knocked the glass over, shattering it completely. A painful realization pierced his heart deeper than the illness. Because he always appeared strong, no one believed he could ever be weak. Just as hope was fading entirely, the creaking of the door broke the silence. A wandering monk had entered, sensing the heavy atmosphere. The monk saw the situation immediately. He rushed to Arif's side, lifting his head gently to offer him cool, life-saving water. For the next few days, the stranger stayed. He brewed herbs, cooked warm soup, and nursed the broken man back to health. When Arif regained his voice, he poured out his sorrow, asking why those he served had abandoned him when he needed them most. The wise monk listened patiently, then pointed to a flickering oil lamp on the table that was struggling to stay lit. He said softly to Arif, "My son, you cannot light the path for others if your own flame has completely burned out." He then held up an empty cup and tilted it. "And you cannot pour water for anyone else if your own cup is empty." The words struck Arif like lightning. He realized his mistake was not in giving, but in giving until he had destroyed himself. The monk left as quietly as he arrived, leaving behind a lesson that would change the course of Arif's life forever. Arif stood before the mirror and made a vow. He would no longer neglect the person who needed him the most, himself. The next day, the villagers were surprised to see Arif working not on their homes, but repairing the broken roof of his own. He cleared the weeds that choked his garden, planting seeds of beauty that he had denied himself for far too many years. For the first time, he sat on his porch to watch the sunset, sipping tea and enjoying the peace he had created. When a neighbor came asking for immediate help, Arif smiled and said gently, "I will help you, but only after I finish my work." He still helped others, but with a new balance. He gave from his surplus, not from his survival, and his help became more effective. His home blossomed, and so did his spirit. The villagers began to respect him not just as a servant, but as a dignified man. He realized that by taking care of himself, he had more energy, more joy, and more love to share with the world around him. The transformation was profound. He was no longer a martyr seeking validation, but a whole person sharing his abundance with his community. When the monk returned seasons later, he saw a man who understood the secret. The lamp was full of oil, burning brighter than ever. Remember, self-love is not selfish. It is the necessary foundation that allows you to be of service to others in a sustainable way. When you respect your own needs, the world learns to respect them too. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. Love is a stream that must flow inward before it can flow outward. If the source runs dry, the river ceases to give life. Take time to fill your cup. Rest when you are tired. Nurture your spirit so that your giving comes from joy, not obligation. Arif's story teaches us that the greatest gift you can give to the world is a healthy, happy, and fulfilled version of yourself. Do not wait until you collapse to value your well-being. Make your own happiness a priority, starting from this very moment. True service is a partnership, not a sacrifice. When we are all strong individually, we can build a community that is unbreakable together. Look at your own life today. Is your cup empty? Is your flame flickering? Take a step back and replenish your soul. Walk your path with dignity. Love yourself fiercely. And watch how your light naturally illuminates the world without burning you out. Thank you for watching Vital Life Stories. Remember to fill your own cup first, so you can truly pour into others. See you soon.